Dude, that was such a hype video. I mean, magnesium alloy skeleton and hot swappable switches. Damn, when did they release this video? Yeah, well, about that, it was released in 2023. And we didn't really hear from Lamzu until basically this year. It just felt like the hype around the mouse just died completely. And when it did come out, it's sold out everywhere. Insane. And honestly, we've seen a ton of improvements in gaming mice over 2 years. I mean, they're really as advanced as we could possibly get in the meantime. So 2 years later, a slightly new design. Can the Tachi hold up to today's standards of gaming mice? And honestly, speaking of design, it has such a yee, squiggly, diggly ass design. But anyway, let's get with the unboxing. Okay, so let's talk about the packaging. Comes in a very simple Lamzu usual packaging with the Tachi. When you open up, you see this little message right here. Journeys begin with a single step, a Tachi in hand, a battle to command. Times have changed, battles have aged, yet honor forever remains. Now modernized, the Tachi continues to guide eternally by your side. So basically, Lamzu just compared sweaty gamers to the samurais of the past, because that's totally the same thing. We are warriors, am I right, guys? You, of course, get the mouse. Here you go. As you can see, I already put on some grip tape on it, but this is the mouse. Then you obviously get the 8K dongle. You get some universal grip tape. You basically get some extra foundation that you can put underneath the mouse to give it a little bit more height. A shitload of extra skates. This thing will just last you a whole while. All different types of shapes and sizes over here. You get a little bottom dust cover protection. And you get a little screwdriver so you can lobotomize your mouse whenever you feel like it. And this is going to be actually pretty important. So you can use this to open it up and, switch out the switches on the mouse. You also get some extra switches that you can try with the switch housing as well, since the switches on the Tachi are hot swappable. So you can kind of customize whatever you want here. Personally, I did not try these because I really already love the blue shell pink dot switches that are already inside the Tachi. They already sound fantastic as is. And actually, how could I forget? You get a USB-A to C braided cable. Feels very, very premium, I will say. That about basically gives you everything in the unboxing experience. So you do definitely get a lot, considering that you are paying what, like $170 essentially for this entire thing. All right, so now let's cover the build quality and how their click implementation is. Yeah, I mean, this thing is built like an absolute tank. There was literally no flexing or creaking at all. I'm not even gonna lie, like this is literally the most dense feeling 49-gram mouse that I've probably ever felt. No dick riding, but it's literally the most premium feeling mouse I've ever laid my hands upon, beating out even the Razer Viper V3 Pro. There's also minimal side-to-side play on the main buttons. Like, you have to try really hard for them to get it moving, and it won't get in the way at all during your play sessions. There's no wobble, and when you press down, you're not going to feel it move to the side. And in terms of the pre and post travel, there's very minimal pre-travel. Like when you press it very lightly, it just boom goes down instantly. There's a little bit of post travel, but I think that post travel definitely helps with making the clicks feel springier and just more spammable. I mean, there's blue shell pink dots on these, and like I would never want to swap these out. They're my favorite switches. There's also no wobble on the scroll wheel, and the scroll wheel feels very premium. All right, let's go for the sound test now. So quite frankly, when it comes to the coding itself, I really do think that it's okay at best. For reference, I have pretty cool and smooth hands, so it really just slips off the mouse, quite frankly. I think the only time it could really grip properly is if I have warm hands. And I would really just recommend getting grip tape and just slapping them bad boys onto this mouse. Overall, it's not really an endgame gear coating. It's an okay coating at best, but I mean, that's about it. It really has grip tape, so it's not really that big of a problem. When we were looking at the shape, I just want to let it be known I have pretty small hands. If we exclude the thumb, it's 6 inches by 3 inches essentially. So I have basically boss baby hands. This is really just an in-between shape of the Maya and the Maya X. I would like to call it the perfect form of the Maya, even though this shit is called the Tachi. Names are just names. So, what is my preferred style of grip? It's basically like a hybrid palm slash like pincer claw grip because I keep my ring and my pinky fingers in the front of the mouse. And then I like to really try my best to fully rest my palm on the mouse, but you know, your mileage will vary depending on how high hump of a mouse it is. Honestly, I think for small hands, this is probably the best way to grip the mouse. Claw grip is actually kind of uncomfortable here. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the grooves are not deep enough and the way the back hump flares out is really not that much. I think if you have small hands, you're gonna try to get a claw grip mouse. Just go with like the Lamzu Mini or even like the Zowie U2. I think those are just better. This would be really just good with like palm grip for the most part, but even from a palm grip perspective, right? You know, I would like to say that the hump is not that big, but I think because the width of the mouse is greater than like the Maya or something like even, you know, like the ULX, you're going to be able to easily kind of like relax and put your hand around the mouse because there's enough width for you to just allow your, you know, fingers to not really cramp, and then in turn you're able to more gently rest your palm on the back of the mouse. And in terms of like the full palm contact here, honestly it really just gets to like the bottom half of my hand and then mostly like the side because, you know, my hand is tilting more towards the right here. What you're going to see is that you're not really going to get much knuckle contact here, if I'm being honest. I mean, if you care about that, then yeah, you're not really going to get knuckle contact here. Let's be real for a second. And I think because of the lower profile of the hump, right, you know, you're not going to get as much flick stability, you know, as compared to something like Zowie, you know, Z813. You're going to get a lot more back hump contact. And I think what's really good about that actually is that it gives you just enough breathing room on your palm for you to get some really good side to side movement here. Like good, very good wrist movement, I will say. You can't get that type of wrist movement on more higher hump and more backfilling hump mice. And in terms of where you can rest your fingers on the main mouse buttons, honestly, it gets really heavy with the clicks only this far back. I mean, you literally from after these holes, everything else is going to feel very light and crispy, so you don't really need to worry too much. So for those people with big ass hands and you're looking to maybe fingertip the mouse, I mean, I don't really know why you'd get this mouse to fingertip, but let's say if you do, when pigs fly, right? Then yeah, you can comfortably fingertip it and even click the main buttons here, and it's very crispy and very light. So, for people with small hands, I definitely recommend this shape as primarily a palm grip option, really. But if you have medium hands, you can really get away with almost any sort of grip on this mouse with claw, shit, even fingertip if you're crazy, and then even a palm grip as well, quite frankly. If you have big ass hands, I would really just recommend the Maya X if you're looking to palm grip. Otherwise, you can really claw grip the Tachi and you can also fingertip it. I think the Maya X will just be the overall better fit for you. All right, so the performance I think is fantastic on the Tachi. So it sports a PixArt 3950 sensor and a Nordic 52840 MCU with a TTC encoder. Yeah, I mean, overall, I really had no issues with this mouse at all. There were no stutters, no spinouts on glass pads. There was no sort of noticeable input latency as well. And honestly, the lack of a high profile hump here lets you micro adjust like really easily. Your wrist doesn't feel too locked in and really just gives you room to breathe when it comes to those wrist adjustments. I mean, yeah, it's no BBL mouse. You can think of this as more of a lean athletic build of a mouse that gives you more of a quicker performance, you know, not like those thickalicious mice like the Vaxi E1 or the Z813, where you get a lot more wrist stability when it comes to your flicks. And interestingly enough, the middle sensor position placement gives you a very balanced experience for your aim. So in terms of sensor position, it has a great placement smack dab in the middle of the mouse. I think this basically allows a very balanced aiming experience. So when you're aiming with your wrist, it doesn't feel wildly inconsistent with very long wrist swipes where you feel yourself kind of overshooting. And when you're aiming with your arm, it really just feels, not too fast and not too slow. So overall, just a very balanced experience that the middle sensor position really provides here. So for me, when it came to using it, I felt it gave me the best experiences of both the Maya and then the Maya X without their drawbacks. I was able to get the quick turning aspect of the Maya without my hands cramping on the sides of the Maya. And then there's just enough hump for me to create some sort of semblance of control that you can get from the higher hump nature of the Maya X, but without locking in my wrist too much like the Maya X did. Like at the end of the day, mouse sensors have just advanced so much, so when it comes to the performance review section of my video, it's really just how the shape and the sensor placement feel in hand when I'm performing in various games. And yeah, I could really just recommend this for every type of FPS gamer. This mouse just allows you to just use it for any sort of video game. It's really just a jack of all trades type of mouse. Just a very universally applicable tool. Honestly, overall, I think that the Tachi is an amazing mouse. It's a very safe, symmetrical shape that sits right in between the Maya and the Maya X. It performs phenomenally with a 3950 sensor. I think it's great that it comes with hot swappable switches just for that added customizability. Honestly, it comes with a lot of stuff in the box for that $179 price tag. My biggest gripe with it really is just the design on it. I really don't like the squiggly diggly design, but to each their own. It's a pretty boring shape. Honestly, it's just another symmetrical shape that's released in 2025. Maybe 2 years ago, this would have definitely hit harder, but I think it's boring now. But although it's boring, it's definitely a fantastic shape, and if you're looking for something slightly smaller than the Maya X and slightly bigger than the Maya, then this is definitely your go-to shape, to be honest. Overall, nothing special, very safe, still very good though, and the build quality is some of the best I've seen in the market. Honestly, I think that about covers it. But I did want to note that I'm really, really happy that we were able to surpass 100 subscribers. And honestly, I'm very thankful for all of you. I really do appreciate the support that's been given to me in all of my videos. And honestly, I can just hopefully keep making stuff that you guys will enjoy. But as always, if you liked the video, like it. If you loved it, shoot me a subscribe. I would love that. And honestly, drop a comment below if you have any more questions regarding the Tachi, and I'll try my best to answer them. Thanks for your time, and it's always been a pleasure. Peace.